Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And today we're going to give our first impressions of Tokyo Highway, which is a game I think I got on sale because it just looked interesting. The box has a very interesting look to it.
Yep.
It's kind of the gray and white, but then it's got a little splash of color on it.
Yep.
With the little vehicles. And so I've just always been kind of interested in the look of the game, and I knew it was kind of a, what do you call it? Putting the pieces on there.
Kind of like dexterity.
Dexterity game, yep.
And oddly enough, I would say that it's probably one of the better representations that a cover has for what the game actually has turned out to be in our collection.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Because I look at that and I'm like, that's what it feels like.
It does really feel like that. That's what the game feels like when you look at that cover. It's a very good representation of it. But yeah, I thought it looked interesting. And we have Manara. I think that's our only other kind of dexterity game where you're doing some stacking as well. And yeah, so we tried it out. I would say I was midway excited going into it. But yeah, we've got a play and a half sort of this one.
Yes. I was midway excited too, and that last game we played, and I think it probably delivers all it can for a dexterity game. I mean, you're building a highway with little popsicle sticks on little columns that you build, and try to put your cars on there and not knock over the other players' highways, and I think for what it does, it did it about perfectly. I don't know if there's really anything else you could do. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward concept, and I don't know, I think it worked very well.
Yeah, I would agree that it probably did exactly what it was trying to do, but I think what it was trying to do was maybe just a little too blah for me. Just because we have Manara, I love what that does. It does add a little more game to it, whereas this one, I would say, is just... It is a game, but it feels more activity-like, and it didn't really bring excitement to me. I mean, there are moments where you're like, oh, I'm going to put this on here, but it was almost... The way you score points in the game is by kind of either covering over opponents' roads or going under, and maybe if we had played with more players, it might have changed the experience. We just did a 2-player game. After originally doing a 3-player game, Michaela did not like the game very much at all, and... Yeah, so maybe with more players it would be a little bit different, but it just never really felt that exciting to me. Whereas, like, Manara, I feel like every game of that gets to a point where it's pretty exciting, and you're like, oh, we gotta get one more layer on there. And this one, just like the grayness of the box, felt a little dull to me.
I can see that a little bit, but I really enjoyed it. It felt like there were moments where... At least in our game, where I think we each had a few where it's like, okay, this is going to be a really tough road to add, or tough column, and I know I tried to go under 2 of yours at once, which meant I had to place the pieces through the structure we have built, which I think throughout the game, the structure looks amazing, I think.
That does look pretty cool.
Very cool. And I really love those moments of, can I actually... get this under here? Is it actually going to work with the angle, or is it going to hit something else? Because it'd be an illegal placement. But one thing that, I mean, it didn't happen for us, thankfully, but it says if you knock over the opponent's pieces, you have to pay them in your columns, which that's one way you can lose, is running out of pieces. But you do have a lot. And if you knock that over, you have to pay them for every piece that you knocked over, and then rebuild. And I'm like, I just feel like if you did have some sort of catastrophic knocking over, could that one person really rebuild all of that?
Yeah.
So that didn't come up, but I could see that being okay, this is going to be impossible, and it's going to take forever to do that as well. But like I said, we didn't run into that. But yeah, I think was a point where if someone does get ahead and... They aren't really forced to do anything too risky and can pretty much just get the rest of their cars out, which was kind of the situation with us two, where I got ahead and was able to just safe play it to win the game.
Yeah, I would agree. That's kind of what happened in our play of it, and Yeah, so I think I would come in at probably like a 5 for this one. I just didn't find much excitement in it. Like you said, there were a few moments where it was a little more exciting to place a piece, but I felt like those were few and far between. And in a two-player game, like I said, you kind of would know who's gonna kind of win if they get too far ahead.
Yeah.
And if you added more players, I feel like the downtime in between turns might be too long.
Yeah.
You'd almost have to add a timer, I think, just because
Yeah.
I think it just, even in our game, sometimes, just because you'd be trying to do an important move, sometimes it could take quite a while. And this feels like a game that should be
trying to
a little more
line
snappy.
it up and stuff. Kind of feels kind of like an abstract game, thinking moves ahead of what's going to work and what's not. I'm coming in quite a bit higher at like an 8 probably.
Oh, wow.
And this is just one that's like, obviously I don't think it's the one that I'd go to that often, but it does deliver what I would want from a dexterity game, kind of a structure, building, don't tip it over type of game. Other than like the few negatives that we mentioned, I enjoyed it.
Nice. Yeah. So I think it's kind of going to depend on what types of games you like or don't like. This one has a pretty simple feel to it. It's not like you're doing anything too special outside of just doing some stacking. So if that sounds interesting to you, it might be the game for you. If not, and you want a little more meat on the game, it probably is not the one for you. But yeah, you can check out a unboxing video of this one.
We did an unboxing
we have
video.
that already posted, so we'll probably have that in the link below. So if you want to check that out and see all these great gray pieces and colorful cards, you can check that out. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to
Keep on nibbling
on our content.